Mother's milk is loaded with benefits for the baby. However, with the changing lifestyle, it often becomes difficult to nurse. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the little one cannot have breast milk. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about pumping. So push the subscribe button and stay tuned. From Mom Life Unplugged, where I share my experiences with people looking for parenting solutions, tips and tricks. Today I'm going to tell you about the benefits of breast milk, how to pump, how to create a stash before going back to work, and how I continued to pump at work till my baby turned 1. Do watch the video till the end, as I will be sharing a few tips on how to increase the pumping output. Mother's milk is rightfully called the liquid gold, as it is not only the best food for optimal growth of the baby, but it is also vital for building their immunity. It is God's own vaccination program for the little ones, as it is abundant in antibodies which develop their immune system. Also, when a mother falls ill, her body produces antibodies. This we all know. But what we don't know is that these antibodies are passed on to the little one through breast milk, and hence further boosting their immune system. For the various benefits of breast milk, WHO advises that the baby should be nursed for a minimum of 2 years. There are many factors that prevent us from being able to nurse our baby. For example, the baby may not be able to latch directly to the mother, or the mother may be separated from the baby due to medical reasons, or you may have to step out of the house for some work, leaving the baby behind, or you may simply have to go back to work as your maternity leave has come to an end. Going back to work is actually one of the most common reason why mothers stop nursing their babies and start looking for alternate food options. In every scenario where the mom is unable to nurse the baby directly, pumping is very much helpful. You can also pump to relieve yourself from engorgement. There are 2 types of pumps available. The first one is something like this, which is a manual pump. These pumps do not need electricity or battery. They can be operated with hand. Though these pumps are on the lower side of the price chart, but operating them can be tiring and time consuming. These pumps are best if you will be pumping occasionally. However, if you will be pumping on a regular basis, the second option of electric pumps is the best. These pumps are fast and efficient and very good at their job. Though these pumps are expensive, but I can tell you they are definitely worth every penny spent on them. Electric pumps are again of 2 types, single breast pump or double breast pump. I used Medela Swing single electric breast pump, and I must tell you I absolutely loved it. It is small, compact, fast and comfortable, and I could easily carry it in my bag. Early morning is the best time to pump. This is when the output is maximum. So the first thing you should do as soon as you wake up in the morning is pump. Oh yes, you can answer nature's calls before sitting down to pump. Try and wake up a little before your munchkin so that you have time to pump before you nurse the baby. You can also pump after your meals. I noticed that every time I pumped after eating my food, the output was much better as compared to the times when I pumped before eating. If you are new to pumping, your body may not respond to the pump immediately. Do not give up yet. Continue pumping regularly and your body will slowly adjust to the new demand. Do remember the supply and demand rule. Your body will always produce enough milk to meet the demands. So you can be sure that your baby will not be left hungry if you have just pumped. You will be surprised to know that breast milk can be stored up to 6 months in the freezer, up to 4 days in the refrigerator, and up to 4 hours at room temperature. However, in hot climates, I would suggest to store breast milk directly in the fridge. I stored the pumped milk in 2 ways. When I knew that the milk will be consumed in 4 days, I used to keep it in bottles in the fridge. But if the milk was to be stored away, I used pre-sterilized milk bags. While storing breast milk, always follow the 3 simple rules. Store in small quantities so that the entire content can be used in one go. Always mark the packets and bottles with date and volume of the milk. Follow the first in, first out method. Heating breast milk at direct flame is a strict no. To heat refrigerated milk, keep the bag or the bottle in hot water and let the temperature of milk rise gradually. If you want to defrost frozen milk, just keep it in the refrigerator and it should thaw overnight. Do remember, milk once thawed cannot be kept back in the freezer and it needs to be consumed within 24 hours after defrosting. If you wish to use the frozen milk immediately, you can keep the bag under warm running water or thaw it by keeping it in a bowl of hot water. If your maternity leave is coming to an end and you have to go back to work, then this is the time you should start creating a stash. I had to start work in July, so I started stocking up from the beginning of June. I used to pump twice a day and within a month my backup was ready and I was stress-free when I started work. Apart from a good breast pump, there are a few more items that are needed to create a stash and to continue pumping at work. The first one of them are storage bags. I got the newmom milk bags, which are pocket friendly and easily available on Amazon. You would also need a cooler bag and at least 2 ice packs to store your pumped milk at work. My cooler bag was from Bagzaras, which came with an ice pack and which had a good capacity, and I could easily keep my pump parts along with the milk. I have included links of every item that I have talked about in the description box below. Before I joined back, I once visited my office for some work and I was told that working moms do not have the luxury to exclusively breastfeed their baby. They said that since we have to come to work, we have no other option than introducing formula to our baby. This made me even more determined that I will not break the promise I've made to my daughter and I will not compromise on her needs. I am a banker working in a public sector bank and hence I prepared myself for the struggles I had to face, as I knew there was no proper space to pump in the office and that the management may not agree. I kept the pump parts in Tupperware boxes and stored the boxes in the cooler bag itself. By doing this, I was double sure that everything is hygienically packed and I left for work. However, I could not pump on day one. There were too many factors to put the blame on. I was overwhelmed and nervous simply because breastfeeding is not yet normalized in our country and I felt uncomfortable discussing about it. This actually is the reason why I am doing this video. This is my effort to try and normalize breastfeeding and pumping at work. Let's make it a little easier for our fellow moms. They are anyways too hard on themselves. By the end of day one, I had figured out a place to pump. The next day, I discussed it with my seniors and with the HR and they both approved. On day 2, I was much more confident and determined to break the ice. But I could only pump during lunch hour. As for the rest of the day, the area was in constant use. I will be honest, I was very awkward in the first few days, but then it became a norm. My colleagues used to joke and say Anisha gets jailed at 2 p.m. and bailed out at 2:30. I had planned to pump 4 times a day. This included pumping twice at work to make sure that my supply does not take a hit, as I would be away from my baby for more than 8 hours. But I could only pump once at work. I was still pumping 4 times a day, that is 7 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Slowly my body adjusted to the change and thankfully my supply wasn't much affected. The output from these 4 pumping sessions was enough for Madam C during the time that I was away, and any shortfall was met from the stash that I had already created. Since breast milk cannot be supplemented in the first year, I continued to pump till she turned 1. My pumping frequency reduced to 3 times a day and I was relying more on the stash. You can set your pumping frequency according to your comfort and your baby's needs. There is no hard and fast rule for this. Just be sure that you pump at regular intervals to maintain your supply. Let me know in the comments below if my story inspired you and if you will be pumping at work. While pumping, stay stress-free, stay happy. Stress and milk supply are inversely proportional. The higher your stress levels, the lower will be your pumping output. Do not keep looking at the bottle to check out the output. This actually increases stress and reduces supply. Cover the bottle with your baby's socks, as out of sight is out of mind. Instead, look at your baby's photos and videos and smell their clothes. This will help you with the letdown. Wash and sterilize all the pump parts after every use. If you are unable to wash the parts at work, rinse the parts in running water and keep them in the cooler bag to avoid bacteria growth. Breast milk is best for the babies and it is brilliant if you are trying to exclusively breastfeed. However, do not forget or neglect yourself in the process. Nothing is more important than a mother's mental, physical, and emotional health. Do not compromise on your health to keep up the promise of breastfeeding. If need be, please switch to formula milk without hesitation, as it is the second best food for an infant. Do remember, a healthy and a happy mother raises a healthy and a happy baby. And that is what we all want. Hit the like button if you are on this with me. Stay tuned to my channel for more experiences and parenting hacks. Watch the video on your screens right now if you are looking for homemade baby food prepared and packed for your baby by a mom. Bye.